When I got back from Europe, I was stationed at a fine place called Fort Polk, Louisiana, and a man had just been elected that had deposed a governor that was quite famous for quite a few things. The fact that this guy did not get the kind of press that his predecessor did is just an indicator of the fact that he was not corrupt. If it bleeds, it leads. Ladies and gentlemen, Buddy Roemer, Governor, Louisiana. Also, running for president.
Hello, South Carolina. I left New Hampshire this morning at 2:30. Lord have mercy. Bed's gonna look good tonight. I've been up there for 7 weeks. I came home for 2 days to make sure my wife was still there, and I went back, and my wife's name is Scarlett, by the way. She's a nurse. And the first thing I did today when I got to South Carolina, after I spoke in Asheville, I went to join the Tea Party in Greenville, and as soon as that was over, I stopped by a Waffle House. It looks so good, man. They don't have Waffle Houses in New Hampshire. It's not part of America. I don't know what's wrong with them. They've got Dunkin' Donuts. That's not the same thing as Waffle House. I'm from Bossier City, Louisiana. Went to Bossier High School. Grew up on a cotton farm. Not much of a politician. I served as congressman from Louisiana and as governor. I'm the only guy running for president who's been a congressman and a governor. The rest of them are pretending, okay? While I was governor, here's what I inherited. Louisiana had an unemployment rate of 12.8%. Well, the day I was elected. When I left office 4 years later, it was 5.3. I'm a jobs guy. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a government guy. I'm not a bureaucrat. And here's my approach, different from anybody else. They don't even talk about it. One, I think the President of the United States ought to stand up to foreign competitors who trade unfairly. And I'm thinking of the Chinese. They have stolen about 10 million jobs from American plants. These are decent people. Do you know we have 1 million fewer Americans working today than we did 12 years ago? Let me say it again. It's not about Obama. You can kick him all he wants. He's just like the other ones. A little bit worse. George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, they folded like a pack of cards. The Chinese talk and the president gets very worshipful. It's not right. It's not fair for South Carolina. It's not fair for Louisiana. It's not fair for America. For the President of the United States to be kissing the elbow of the Prime Minister of China while they use unfair trade to steal our jobs. And I'll be very specific. They use child labor. If you did that in South Carolina, they would throw you in jail. And yet we compete with the Chinese who use 8-year-olds in their plants. I've been to China many times, folks. I'm a little small town banker. I built a bank that's $1 billion, profitable, no bailout money. We compete around the world, particularly with the too big to fail bureaucrats on Wall Street. This is a joke. Been to China many times. I go in the back door of the plant. Nobody running for president talks about it. Nobody talks about it. Oh, they talk about we need more trade. Well, how are they going to get it when the Chinese won't let our products in and they dump their cheap products in America? Look, we need to do better. I got a proposition for you. Why don't we join together and say that Made in America is our line? Why don't we join together and support women and men who make things in America? You wouldn't need a jobs bill if we allowed things to be made in America. if we had energy independence, if we deregulated small business, and if the President of the United States stood up to the Chinese bureaucrats. Here's what I would say if I'm president. I would do away with the foreign tax credit. GE makes $5 billion. You know how many taxes they paid? Not one damn penny. And it's not right. There's a little provision in the tax law. I've been there, folks. I've been a congressman. I was head of a group of Democrats called the Boll Weevils. We worked with Ronald Reagan. He didn't have a majority in the House. I gave him a majority. And we passed the tax code. And we passed jobs. And we turned America around. We rearmed the military. We did that sort of thing. It can be done again. I would do away with the foreign tax credit. I would do away with the deductibility of expenses for American companies overseas. You know why we're losing the jobs, don't you? GE is sending jobs over there. They're firing Americans and hiring foreigners. Let me give you a number. In the last 10 years, the top 100 companies in America fired 2.9 million Americans. And they hired 2.6 million foreigners. Now, I don't mind them doing that. It's a free world. I don't like it. What I do mind is the taxpayers paying for it. Because when they build a new plant in China, guess where they deduct it from their taxes? In America. Guys, you are paying companies to send your jobs overseas. Why don't you get angry about it? It's the only reason that I run for president. I got a good life. I've been out of politics 20 years. I did everything in politics I wanted to do. I was fairly successful. I took a state that was corrupt, paid its teachers last in America, had the highest unemployment rate in America, had roads you couldn't drive on, and without raising taxes, we turned it around. We made it a decent state, and we got a good governor now following me, Bobby Jindal. Let's hear it for Louisiana. And while I'm on that roll, let's hear it for the LSU Fighting Type. No, I'm out of order. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Gamecocks. I got it right. That's my first point. I've only got two. My first point is I want a president who puts the jobs of Americans first. Don't you? Let's do it. Number two, I want a president free to lead. Now let me tell you why we're giving our jobs away. The biggest contributor to the Republican Party 4 years ago in the presidential election was General Electric. Are you surprised? The biggest contributor to the Democratic Party 4 years ago was General Electric. Are you surprised? The reason that presidents don't say anything is where they get their money. And look at all these guys running for president. Very little experience, no jobs plan, nobody says anything about the loss of jobs, not a thing. And they all take the big checks. Here's what I do, and I'm gonna leave you with this thought. You're not selecting a president today. You got a year. I want you to look at me over that year. I take no PAC money. I take no super PAC money. I take no contributions over $100. My average contribution is $42.50. I've got thousands of Americans in every state standing with me. I need 1 million families. I need 1 million men. I need 1 million women to stand with me and stand up to unfair trade and stop the buying of votes in Washington, D.C. Nobody knows me yet. I just announced 4 weeks ago. I've been out of politics for 20 years. I'm unusual. Fair trade and no big checks. I think you need a leader free to lead. So when you get through playing with the other candidates, who all sound just alike to me, but if you can pick one out, fine. If you can't, I want you to get on buddyroemer.com. Come home and let's have a revolution in this country. Thanks, everybody.
Everything he said was true. When I got there, what was the governor's name that was like the fight? He had a fiefdom down there? Edwin Edwards, that's right. Oh, he just got out of jail. I remember that quite well. Louisiana was in shock for the first year and a half because there was nothing happening in the press regarding the governor's job. That was not going on. If you're my age, right now you're looking at your children and you're saying, very soon they're going to be taking care of me. So how? Who can relate to kids nowadays? I try, I don't do a very good job. We have a youth minister here. He does it in a way that I don't think anybody else can, and his name is simply Politic.
We all know that if we don't reach our young people today in this country, if we win in 2012, we can win in 2016, we can win in 2020. Come 2026, when this next generation that is so ignorant comes up to be able to vote, all of this will be for nothing if we don't reach our young people.
That's right.
That's right. So I dedicate my life to taking this message beyond where we've already taken it. I want to take it to new realms, and I want to come against a destructive culture. This song is called Tea Party.
They call us extreme.
Don't get shocked, you're in the right place.
They call us an angry mob.
I'm not angry.
I don't think they truly understand who we really are.
We have to let everybody know who we really are. Who the Tea Party is. Yeah. Fiscally responsible, that's a Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution. Our only foundation should be our Constitution. Fiscally responsible, that's a Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution. Our only foundation should be our Constitution. There's a Tea Party movement, we're not in Boston. Not a race thing, though you hear that often. Lies, don't believe the liberal spin. Let us break it down, tell you where it all begins. See, in 1776, a declaration written by the founders, it formed a new nation. But wait, some didn't like the cause. Through the years they've been working to destroy us all. There it was, 2009, dangerous times. Socialist agendas they wanted to sign so the people combined. Said let's have a tea party. Your neighbors and your friends, a mob? Hardly. What happened is a sleeping giant chose to wake up. Have you ever heard 2 million people shouting enough? The walls of the Congress and Senate are shaking. This is the result when you awake a free nation. Fiscally responsible, that's a tea party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution. Our only foundation should be our Constitution. Fiscally responsible, that's a Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution. Yeah. So the WTP chose to hit the streets. That's the Waco Tea Party. They activated me, grassroots. That means from the bottom to the top. Hitting the communities and pledge to never stop. We pouring out the waste. Don't let us see you lie. We're turning out the votes that your money can't buy. We turned interstates into a campaign revolution. Every mile marker seen the Constitution. Tea Party's here, there's Tea Parties there. The Tea Party movement got them running scared. They know that their lies cannot penetrate the truth. In 2010, we proved it at the booth. We don't care if you're a D, we don't care if you're an R. If your votes don't stand for the stripes and the stars, let liberty prevail. To this I dedicate my life. I'm standing up for freedom for my babies and my wife. That's a Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution. Our only foundation should be our Constitution. Fiscally responsible, that's a Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution. Y'all ready? Should be our Constitution. Politicians in their lives, Washington is blemished. Career politicians, careers will be finished. We voted for our freedoms in 2010. Trust me, we booted out Repubs and the Dems. They're telling us to flex the Tea Party muscle. We coming together like cards when you shuffle, actually forming 5013Cs. Every state in the union is drinking the tea. Overconfident, they really thought they already won. Now we're bringing out the workers and we're reaching the young. So what's a Tea Party? Well, that's a good question. I wrote this song so they all can quit guessing. We are the people, American blood. We won't let a name be drugged through the mud. We fly the flag high, let not the movement die. We won't grow weary and we won't be shy. Fiscally responsible,
That's a Tea Party.
promotes free market.
Yes, that's a Tea Party.
Limited government's the only solution. Our only foundation should be our Constitution. Fiscally responsible,
That's a Tea Party.
promotes free market.
Yes, that's a Tea Party.
Limited government's the only solution. Our only foundation should be our Constitution. I want to thank you all. It's because of Tea Partiers just like you, conservatives just like you, that I know the history of this country. I live in one of the lowest income communities in Waco, Texas, and I did not have a clue about the history of my country. But today, because of the Tea Party movement, I've read the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, many of the Federalist Papers, Mark Levin's Liberty and Tyranny, and I'm continuing to learn about this great nation. And we are going to reach the youth, and we are going to take this nation back, not only in 2012, but also beyond. God bless the Tea Party movement.